This conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So, yeah, thank you so much for joining today's session and welcome to session day 2. And we are here to understand little more concepts of Tosca. So, basics of Tosca. Before we start with the practical, so these are the things that you have to understand, the terminologies or any other thing, so that we can go ahead with the next class. Okay. So yesterday I've been reiterating. So just to give a quick review, overview of what we have learned yesterday. So we just understood what are the key features of Tosca. First of all, we have understood what is automation testing and what is Tosca and what does Tosca stand for and why we have to choose because it has a lot of advantages like it can be part of agile process and it takes very lesser efforts to create a test scripts and also it's as it is scriptless tool for any manual tester. It takes no time to convert into automation testing and he can start with the automation testing. And also there's a option of report generation. So with all these advantages, Tosca has become leading tool, an automation leading tool nowadays. Okay. And these are the key features of Tosca. So some of the key features are it is a model-based approach and API testing, test data, multi-app support, risk-based testing, scriptless, and distributed execution. So we'll be understanding each and everything today about the in-depth of features of Tosca. And so these are the key features that we have also understood. And if we have also understood there are different other Tricentis products which helps us not only for test automation, for also for test management, for performance testing and mobile testing, and also data and data intelligence. Okay, so these are the other tools of Tricentis which with which we can get help of. Okay. And yesterday we have also understood what are the different certification levels of certifications we have, like AS1, AS2, TDS1, TDS2. As a part of our course, we are covering AS1, AS2, and TDS2. Apart from this, you can also attempt for database testing and also API testing as it is also included. Like you will totally get 5 certifications if you are with us in this training journey. And we have also understood what are the top industries that uses Tosca and what are the top countries that Tosca test suite is currently working. And we have seen some of the top competitors of Tosca. And as a part of introduction, we have understood what are the advantages of Tosca and also a few disadvantages. We have seen the key differences of what is the difference between Tosca and Selenium. Okay, I hope we are clear till here. If you have any questions and queries, you can please let me know. Is my not, sorry, my voice is audible, right? Everyone can hear my voice.
Yeah, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, Pradeep, maybe you have to check it from your end. Others are able to, listen to me. Okay. I hope no questions till here. So we'll start with today's session. Yeah. We had a quick recap of what we have done yesterday, and today we are seeing what is model-based testing approach. So this is the basic like building block of if you have any experience with Selenium or UFT, you will be writing a framework. Okay, you will be designing the framework based on the framework. You will start. You start writing all your reusable functions or anything in your or start creating your test scripts. Okay. In the similar manner, in the Tosca, you will first identify what is a model here. And based on the model, you start creating your test cases by giving the business information. So whatever might be the application, it might be a SAP application or a Salesforce application, any HTML application. Based on this, all the technical information is grabbed and put it in an automation model. So once the automation model is ready, Then we start prepare our test cases, and based on the test cases, we give the business information like all the different types of data. We give it, and then on top of it, we start creating our test cases. Okay, so this is called model based test or automation approach, and you can also say this is also a kind of framework that we are using. Okay. So this is all about model-based test approach. So if you see how the model-based test approach is, so if you see this is this is how a model-based test approach, like you just give the inputs, like this is called as whatever the information that you are giving is the information. It is called as a business information. And if you see enter vehicle data, so this is something. So this is something you are designing your test case. So okay, so where am I? Yeah. So if you see, this might be an application. Okay, so this is one of the application. So this is how your UI interface will look like. Okay, and this is the automation model that how you grab the information and put it in your Tosca. Okay, how you do it and all we will see day by day in slowly. But first you have to understand. First we create a model. Okay, so if you see this application name is called vehicle data, and whatever you see, these are the different text boxes. Okay, so one is Audi and like make and engine performance, year of construction, number of seats, fuel. So these are all what you see on your application. This is how you see in your Tosca. Okay, so first we try to create this model, and once we create this model, we start developing a test case. Okay, so that is the main that is how we see all the that is how we see the we start with Tosca. Okay, I hope you are clear about this. So, hope this is clear, right?
Yes.
So if you see
Yes, ma'am.
script based approach, this is how you write the script. So you have to write long lines of code so that it is little tiresome for everyone to write this much of code. Okay, so but your life is easy when you are using Tosca. So that is what I wanted to tell at the end of the day. And if you see, this is one more other approach, one more other feature of Tosca called as risk-based testing approach. So what do you mean by risk-based testing is, first you assess the risk. Okay, so first you, like if you suppose you have an application, in this application, so first you see, okay, suppose you see there is a login page and the logout page, and there are two different pages in between. Okay, something like payment and other one is like what can we shopping cart. Okay, so these are the four functionalities you have in the web application. So what do? You start assessing the risk. Like if you don't, suppose if you don't if you don't, if you are okay, if a developer has developed that for total four end-to-end four functionalities. Okay, so if you don't what happens if this login functionality is not working? So how much risk is involved if this login functionality is not working? So how much risk is involved if this particular shopping cart functionality is not working? How much risk is involved if this payment and logout functionalities are not working? So you start analyzing when you are doing a risk-based approach, you start analyzing this kind of risk, and based on after you assess the risk, then you identify the test suite. That means if you see, login is a main functionality. If login itself is not happening, then other functionalities, even if they work, there is no that much I mean there's not that much use if even if the other functionalities are working, right? So the login is a main functionality, it has to work for sure. So we assess this login has more risk involved, so we start building the test cases for login, and then we slowly move to the next risk that is involved. Okay. So next risk is payment. Okay. So login is happening, payment is not happening. So then that is the second risk that we are identifying. And the third one is a logout, and the fourth least priority is given to the shopping cart. It's okay. Even if the shopping cart is not working, it is fine, but still that is given the least priority. So based on this, we identify the test cases, we create the execution list, and we risk the measure. So how do you risk the measure is what you see in your requirement section. So I'll show you how the tool is. So this is how the tool is. And if you want to see, so this is, where is the requirement section? Yeah. So this is the requirement section. So in this requirement section, if you see, you can see a column called weight. Okay, this will be discussed very deeply once you are in the class. So this is based on the weight. This risk is measured, and based on that, we start executing our test cases. Okay, so that is how risk-based testing is happening at Tosca. Okay. Please let me know if I'm going little fast, because I adjust according to these batches. Okay. So if you want me to go a little slow, I'm okay with the pace. I can go with the pace. And if you want me to go little fast, it is also fine. Okay. But you have to speak out and tell, and then we can understand about how you can understand. Okay. I hope I'm okay with the pace now.
Screen resolution is not that much good.
Okay. You want me to go slow?
No, screen resolution. What you are showing, that tool and everything, the resolution is was not that much good.
Is it same for everyone?
No, it's fine for me.
It's fine for
It's
me,
fine
ma'am.
for me.
Yeah, then might be a network issue from your end, I believe, because everyone else are able to see it fine.
Okay.
Okay, and I hope I'm fine with the pace, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, yeah. So next, coming to the scriptless testing, what happens like scriptless testing? I'll show you a very small example. So here is where you start creating your models. So let me quickly open one for you and show you, just to have an outlook of what happens. So let us go to Yahoo sign-in page, or what was the other one I use? Yeah, let us go to source demo. It is little more easy for you. Okay. So this is a page. So where it has a username and login and password. So I just have to run something. So what I do, I just scan application. You will understand how to scan it, but for just now, to make you understand how this scriptless testing, I'm just trying to scan it. It's done. So now I have created a model. So I have created a model here. So with the help of this model, I start creating the test case. Somewhere. So this is my test case. Whatever the username I have to give, I just drag it. I just give it in the value section. It's the password. I'll just enter it. I'll not log in, so that you will understand. Okay. So that's it. I just run this. Done. My test step is done. If you see, I'm trying to run that particular application, particular test step. Okay. If you see, it has entered those values on my UI. standard user and the password is entered and I just clicked on log. I did not click on login. Okay. So how much time do you think it took for me to create this one test step? Hardly few seconds, right?
Yes.
And if you have observed, did I write any code or anything? No, right? I just created a model. Based on the model, I start creating my test case. Okay. So this is how the total Tosca will be working. Okay. So throughout your Tosca, whatever might be application, it might be a SAP application, it might be a Salesforce application, it might be anything. Okay. So this is how you process throughout your Tosca. So the tool works like this. Okay. So that is called a scriptless. Like you created a model, you just had the data, whatever the input username and password, and you just dragged and dropped it on your test case. And I have run it, it is run. So that is called a scriptless test case. Any doubts still here?
No, man, sir, not yet.
Okay. Yeah. So coming to the distributed execution. So this can also be achieved only with the Tosca, okay? Not with integrating with any of the tools like Jenkins or that. So Tosca only has a distribution execution server, okay? With the help of that, you can run all your test cases in multiple machines, okay? Yes, there is some configuration setup that you have to do, like you have to set up like servers, you have to set up I mean agent machine, all those things should happen, but still distributed execution server Tosca also has it, and apart from that you can also integrate with Jenkins too. Okay, so that is called as distributed execution. So how do we do this distributed execution and all? You will understand in the class. So we have a one session totally for distributed execution. So I'll try to I'll help you with the setup of agent setup, like server setup, and also how to run this. Like there are few configurations you have to do. All those things I'll give you a detailed information. Okay, by the time we come for distributed execution, you will already be installing the server on your machine. So it's only the agents that you have to set up. So then you can start your distribution execution server. Okay, like you are distributing your execution. Suppose there are 20 to 50 test cases you have to run. So your project manager has come up with a requirement saying that I have to run this 100 test cases in just 1 hour. So then you might be in a situation, if you have set up this distributed execution server, you can just run it like 15 to 20 minutes and give him a report by 30 minutes. Okay, so that fast is this execution happens because you have all different machines and you just create the execution list and run it. Okay, so that is called as distributed execution. Yeah, and other important features are you can also handle not only the static data, but also you can handle the dynamic data. Test recording is also happening in, you can also happen in Tosca, and it is also compatible with different types of applications like desktop application, mobile application, web browser application, anything. Okay, anything it can handle. Okay, so clear till here? Any questions and queries? Okay, I'll take it as a no, and then we'll move to the architecture. So this is the low architecture of Tosca that we see in a day in and day out. Okay, so every time when you open a Tosca, you see a commander. So this is what the commander. So whatever you will be working is called as a commander. So commander will be talking with all these other elements like repository, license server, Tosca executor, all this. It will be talking with all these things. Okay, so that it can get a particular output. Suppose you have to store all your test cases. So whatever test cases you are seeing, it will be stored in my repository. So if you have license server, like if you have 10 to 15 license that is being managed by your project, then you make use of this license server. So with the help of license server, your Tosca commander can be configured. So, and executor. So executor is where you start executing your test cases. You will not see anything like executor or something, but if you see the execution tab here, so whatever you run here, suppose if I run some executions here, what happens is this Tosca commander will come and talk to this executor saying that these are the executions that you have to do. So according to the engines, see if you see there are different engines mentioned. So it might be an HTML engine, it might be a SAP engine, it might be TCP engine, whatever it might be. So it will start picking up that particular engine based on the execution list. Okay. So then it will start all your execution. Okay. So that is called as Tosca executor. And if you see in the Tosca commander, you have a test case section. So if you see, this is a test case section. This is a module section. This is an execution section. This is a requirement section. 1, 2, 3, 4. All these 4 sections will be detailedly explained in our day-to-day classes. Okay. Most of the time, we'll be working on these modules and test cases for first 15 or 18 days. After that, we'll slowly move to the execution section. We'll also create many more execution list and do the most of the execution here. So this is where this execution list only helps us to set up our servers also. Like decks and all can be done in this execution list. And coming to the requirements, this is where we analyze, assess, whatever the risk assessment, whatever might be. Here we do all those things. So these are the 4 different modules you will try to understand. Okay. So test cases, modules, test case design. Yes. There's one more thing that you have to, we'll be talking about. So that is called as test case design section. So here we create different test sheets like what you see in an Excel sheet. The same way here you see the test case sheet, and this will be also discussed in our syllabus. Okay, so this is the architecture of Tosca. What is happening behind Tosca? Like what you see is you just go develop a test case, run it in an execution list. But what happens backside is this is what the communication happens. Okay. So if you see, this is called as server side and this is called as client side. So server side is you are trying to save your test cases to the repository and trying to fetch them from the repository. So that is where client server talking is happening. And also I already told you that if there's any license that is set up, so license configuration part is happening. Okay. So this is the high level architecture of Tosca. Okay. So coming to the lower level, like this is more little more in detail architecture of Tosca. Okay, so if you see, this is just saying the server side. If you see, this is little more detailed, like what is there inside the server. So it might be DEX agent, it might be REST API, it might be TDS, it might be exploratory testing, whatever might be. So all those things are there in the servers. So it's called a T box. We'll understand what is T box. Like there's a scan, execution, API scan, recorder, all are present in the T box. And in the commander, UI, business object, test case design, test planning, all this happens in the Tosca commander. And there is a common repository where you can connect your DB and TDM repository where you can connect with your TDM repository. So all these things you see slowly one by one when you are in the when you are talking about each and everything. Am I clear till here? Any questions and queries?
No, Mansa.
Okay. Okay. So if you see, this is called as Tricentis Tosca cycle. Okay. So how do we do what all we do in the Tosca cycle? Like what all the different phases of uh, testing cycle can happen in Tosca? Like starting from the requirements till generating the reports, everything is handled in Tosca. So what are the different ways it can be handled? Like test case design sheets, like if you have to send multiple test data to a one test case, that can be sent to this test case design. And if you have, I've already explained you how to create a module, right? So creation of modules can be done, models can be done in the module section. And then with the help of these models, you start creating your test cases. Once you create the test cases, you run the execution list, then generate the reports, and then apply the requirements. So here in generally, requirements is the last phase what we do in Tosca. So normally when you are in a manual testing, what you do, you start from the requirements and end with the reports. But here you start from designing test cases and end with the test case requirements. Okay, so that is how this Tosca works. Understood? Okay, so what else we can discuss today? Okay, so I'll
Hello,
just give you a
Mansana.
brief about. Yeah, please tell me.
Yeah, actually, without requirements, we can build test cases like design and everything.
See, how do we start automation testing? We would have already done the requirements, manual test cases would order. So when we start automation testing is to reduce the manual effort. That is where automation comes into the picture, right?
Yes.
So if every time when automation is like one iteration ahead of manual testing, yes or no? So it's not like
Yes.
all the test cases you develop will be automated, right? Suppose there are 10 test
Yes.
cases manually you have developed, only 5 can be automated. Like there might be some difficulties, or there might be something that is not needed for testing, or you cannot automate them. There will be some scenarios, right? So that is where automation testing comes into the picture, right? So we already have the test suite. So out of which we start with it. So in the end, we take the requirements and we map the requirements to the test cases. It's like for what requirement, how many test cases are there? For what requirements? For what requirements, what we do. So that is how we operate in automation, right? So that is why
Yes.
this comes at the last.
Okay.
Okay. So if you see, these are the different topics that we'll be covering. So as a part of AS1, the first thing what we do is after I complete a demo, like sorry, not demo, like theoretical part. So whatever things that you have to put it in your mind before we start practicals, all those things we'll do it like first 4 to 5 days. After that, I just speak very less, and more practicals will be there. The first class after I complete the theoretical will be the installation of Tosca. So everyone will have the Tosca installed, only then I start with the second step, like how to start creating a model. Okay. So once we start creating the model, model or modules are both one and the same. Please don't get confused. So once we start creating the modules, then we start creating the test cases. In the test cases, if you see, there are different action modes you have to understand. There are different data types you have to understand. How to pass different values, how to pass static values, how to get dynamic values. All those things we'll discuss when we are talking about test case section. So we'll move one by one. So first 4 5 days, like 2 to 3 days, we'll be only talking about modules. So then by the time third or fourth day, you'll get a good grip of modules. Then we move to test cases. Then you start talking about test cases. You will have enough practice of creating at least 10 to 15 test cases. Then we move to execution list. So then we start creating the execution list. And after that, we start creating the test cases. Okay, so that is how the pattern goes. So in the test cases, we cover all these things. We have a concept called libraries, configuration parameter, and once all this is completed, then we go to the execution list, and there are advanced topics that are covered, like how to. So now we'll be doing, there are two environments that you can work on in Tosca. So one is single user workspace, other one is multi-user workspace, and there is also concept of recovery and cleanup scenario. So how to do a repetition, what are the different parameters, how to work with the tables, what are the different conditional loops what we have. So all those things we will discuss. So this is a part of AS1, okay. So this syllabus is covered as a part of AS1. And after that, AS2 is all about test case design sheet. Like only this is what we talk in AS2, okay. So in the AS2, we only talk about test sheet creation, template creation, how to link this test sheet to the test case, how to map it, how to configure it, and also how to map an Excel sheet to your test case. All those things are covered as a part of AS2. Okay. And yes, requirements, how to link the requirements, how to weigh your requirements, all those things also are covered. And we also will understand how to create a log, how to do a report creation. We are also doing database testing, API testing, and we are also doing a deck setup. Okay. Apart from this, we are also covering like TDS2. What is there in the TDS2 is, let me quickly open the server. I hope server is installed in my machine. Just a moment, please. Okay, so this is called Tosca, Tricentis Tosca Server. Okay, if you see, there's a tab called Test Data Management. Okay, so this is called, this is all about TDS2. So how, so there are few values that are fetching in your test case and you want to save it somewhere so that you have to use it in the future. So for that, you will be using this TDS2 repository. It's like a SQL database, you can understand. So here we start creating one database. So see, this is how you create your database and insert all your values, like whatever values you are trying to fetch it in your test case, all those things you'll try to commit here. And once you commit it, how to fetch these values, all those things we will discuss in the TDS2. Okay, like server, how to connect to the server, how this Tosca commander will talk to your server, all those things will be discussed as a part of TDS2. Okay. And also, yeah, and one more thing I forgot to mention, there is also a support from us, like we can help you for resume preparation. Like resume preparation and interview questions can also be covered, but these two are like one-on-one sessions. So whoever is interested can give the names at the end of the class. I'll give you some time slot so that on your time slot you can show your resume. I can help you how to tweak your resume and how to upgrade your resume to with the help of Tosca and all. Okay. And interview questions is also, we will always provide one document for interview questions. Apart from that, if you are interested for any mock interviews, we will also conduct the mock interviews for you. And apart from that, you will have the certifications AS1, AS2, TDS2, and preparation for all the certifications will be there. And to mention it again, so once we start with this thing like installation of Tosca, from this date till the 18th day, all the AS1 syllabus will be completed and you will be given enough time, like 2 or 3 days. Mostly I'll plan it to complete by Thursday or Friday. So Saturday, Sunday, you can go ahead and start writing your exam. So once you have AS1 exam, we can start with AS2 exam. Like that means by the time you complete this course, you will have 3 certifications with you. So you will go with the 3 certifications along with the all the information that needs to be provided. Okay. So that is a pattern of syllabus how we cover. So it's not like I cover all the topics and you go and you write the exam. Okay. So I'll give you enough time. I'll ask you to go and write. If at all, if you are interested and if you are eager to learn, you can go ahead and give your exam by 18th day. The first attempt, you can clear the exam, and there are only 2 attempts to clear the exam, and two or three, I believe. There are 2 or 3 attempts to complete the exam. If you cannot complete it, you have to wait 6 months to retry the exam. Okay. So, but all my batchmates, whoever are with me till date, everyone has completed in the first attempt only. Okay. So that kind of practice, that kind of questions and all will be discussed in the class. Okay. Okay. So that is the pattern of exam that we do. Any questions and queries on that part? And if you see, all these exercises will be done by you. Everything, like starting from 1 till 31, I believe. So there are 31 exercises. All the 31 exercises will be completed by the time we complete AS1 exam. AS1 syllabus. Okay. And yeah. So if you have any questions, we can
by
discuss,
com-
or we can,
by completing this course and where we can
yeah.
test like experience on Tosca experience.
Yeah, see, if you are strictly doing whatever I am giving and you are doing an enough practice, all my previous batch students, there are people who have exposed their resume for 3.5 years also, three and a
Okay,
half to 4 years. Okay, based on your expertise, based on your practice, based on how confident you are. Okay, so that is, but in general, 2 to 3 years is what I suggest. Because if you put more than that, the level of questions also will be more. So for that, to face the level of questions, you have to practice more.
okay.
Okay.
So Tosca is like paid tool, so we can install as a freeware. So suppose we are doing the testing and suppose we have to do testing,
Mm.
so we can install
No, actually, there is a free license that is providing. So Tosca is providing a free license, okay, for 30 days.
for 30 days. Okay.
Yeah. So that for 30 days we can use it. But when you are with us, we will tell you how to get the license for more than 30 days. Okay.
Okay. So we can extend the license also.
Yeah, you can extend the license.
Okay. And one more thing I want to ask. So what is the like duration of this course? Like 18 days?
No. AS1 itself 18 days. And after
Okay.
18 days, you can go attempt for AS1. After that, AS2 takes 4 to 5 days because it's only the test data sheet. And what else? TDS2 will have 4 days of, I mean, it's practical, totally practical. TDS2 is again 4 days, database testing. Others will complete like next 10 days, okay? So mostly we'll complete everything by 30 hours.
Okay. And time is like
30 hours
same
in a sense, 30
9:30
days.
IST. Okay. And time is like same 9:30 IST.
Yeah, if you are not convenient, you can tell a team, okay? So
Okay. Okay.
maybe
Okay.
if everyone is willing, we can change the timings, okay? It's all flexible according to you. How do you feel?
Okay.
Apart from this timing,
Yeah.
which are the slots are there?
So actually we also do a morning batch from 7:30 to
Mhm.
8:30. And also
Okay,
we are planning, I mean, it's all based on how you convenient you are, okay? It's not like I am flexible for any time on the day, but how you, I mean, how people come batch for the tool is how we prepare. So we also can have a slot from 8 to 9
okay.
or 9 to 10.
It's it's already
8 to
started
9.
Which time slot you're talking about, Gautam?
7:30.
7:30 is already ongoing batch is there, but
Okay.
it will take some time to complete. It's just the 18th day. We are still in AS1. There are 10 more days, I believe, we have to complete it.
If it is okay for all, 8:30 to 9:30.
It's not okay for me, Pradeep.
Yeah, for me
Okay.
too. I'm having meetings in that time.
Actually, actually, for me, this time is perfect for me.
For
Yeah,
me
9:30
also,
to
morning batch is fine.
10:30 is okay.
Yeah,
9:30
actually, you
and
can
10:30
give
we
your
start.
inputs. Yeah, you can give your inputs to my team. Okay. So maybe
Mansa,
if at all, yeah. Okay.
yeah, Mansa, actually, I wanted to ask you one thing. Like, I got Tosca installed in my system, okay, with that 1 month
Okay.
free licensed key. I already enrolled for
Okay.
this course yesterday, okay, and I have
Okay.
slight knowledge of AS1. So when can I expect to do hands-on and all?
Ace1 hands-on you are talking about?
Yes, yes, Mansa. And the enrollment
Yeah, it
I
will.
have already done, and I've talked to the team, and they told me like
Okay.
they will be creating other group and separate group like for after 3 or 4 days, I guess. So that's what I got to know from the team. So like
Yeah,
hands-on
actually,
and practical things.
hands-on, hands-on, it will take like 3 to 4 days once we complete the theoretical. Okay. So then you can start with practical. Like whatever we do, it's like only the practical. Okay. I don't simply teach it like this. Okay. Only for first 4 days I talk without the tool. After that, I don't talk without the tool. You have to bear
Okay.
next 4 to 5 days with me. Then we can start the practical.
All right, Mansa. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, whoever has the concerns with the time, you can give your available timings to the my team. Okay, my team can decide on the final how many. I mean, based on your convenience and all, they can tell you about the timings. Okay.
Yeah, sure, Mansoor.
Sure, man.
Okay, fine. Yeah. So actually, that's it. I've planned for today, not more than that, because I don't want to dump everything in one single day. So tomorrow we'll talk about what is a SUT, and we'll start with little few things that we have to start with, and then tomorrow I can explain you about different models that we have in Tosca, and then and the next day, hopefully by fourth or fifth day, we can start with the execution of Tosca. Okay. So if you have any questions, anything about this pattern or any suggestions, you can just let me know. So you can if you have any queries and questions, you cannot discuss it here. You can always ping me on my WhatsApp. I'm also there on that group. You can find my number there. So you can just ping me on the number, and then you can get I can talk with you. Okay.
Sure, Mansa.
Okay then. So if we don't
One
have
question.
anything,
One question.
yeah, yes, please go ahead.
Actually, I'm a SAP tester. I want to automate the SAP test cases.
Okay.
So, is it like script based or script weighted test cases or like scan based test cases, which I have to
See,
do?
that is what I'm
Like
telling.
there are two
Whatever
kind,
might
right?
be there is no two kind. It's totally a scriptless tool. Okay. So there is no need for you
Mhm.
to write any scripting here. Whatever might be the
Oh,
application, you have to know the basics of AS1 and AS2.
oh, it could be
Only thing
anything.
is,
Okay.
it could be anything. So you don't write any code here. It's just the model that you create and you start scripting. Okay.
Okay.
Even if you are SAP tester,
Then
right?
I should
So
have
for
the
learning up,
yeah.
yeah, please go ahead.
I may need the SAP also to be installed on my system, right? I require to, or you will give any SAP because
Yeah,
SAP
ideally, if
also
you
I need
have
to
to,
install it. SAP.
yes. Ideally, if you have to scan your SAP application, you have to have the SAP installed in your machine.
Mhm.
But what I would suggest is please don't directly jump into the SAP because there might be few difficulties that you face while doing an SAP application. Like you have to understand the basics, right? So what I would suggest from my end is please go with the AS1 and AS2 as these two are very basics. Like like literally basic things that you can implement in SAP Scan also. Okay. So please go with these two certifications. If you are interested really, or if you want to directly jump into SAP, you can just directly jump in, but still you have to learn all these concepts of AS1 and AS2.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So what I would suggest is, anyways, we will be doing this web application on this class, right? So apart from that, if you are interested, you can also automate your SAP application and you can come up with all your queries and questions while we are doing while we are here, right? So you can come again and tell Mans, I'm facing this difficulty. I'm always here. We can sit and sort it out, and we can find a way so that you can it can help you for your SAP learning.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
And we can test also Android and iOS app, native and hybrid app, correct?
Yeah, you can also do that.
Okay. So
That
this
is
is
what
part of,
it might be. Any
yeah,
application it might be, but the web application is the basic. So here we cover all the basics. So how do you
bas-
play around, even if it is a mobile application, how to fetch the values from the application, how to buffer the values, all those things are covered here. So it's always good process if you start from the basics. So once you get a
ba-
grip on this, right, automatically you have the confidence to go and do whatever might be the application is.
okay. So we will learn only for web in this course, correct?
Yeah, here we are only learning about web.
Okay.
But you can practice for other applications with whatever knowledge we are telling here.
Okay, got it, Mansa.
Yeah. Okay, all right. So that's it I have for today. So tomorrow we can start with few more concepts of Tosca and then we can slowly move ahead. Okay. So thank you so much for joining with us in your second day. Have a very nice day and have a good day ahead. Thank you. Bye bye.
You too, bye.
Thank you.
Thank you everyone.
Thank
Have a
you.
good
Bye
day.
bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.